why I quit my corporate office job to start my own business. So let's start from the beginning. Back in 2015, my first son was born, and I wasn't working at the time. I did need a job right away just so I could start supporting. And very quickly, the day that he was born, actually, I got a job at a solar company down in the Bronx, down in the Piano District around 138th. It was an office job doing permitting for a solar company. I used to pull the permits so they could legally build the solar panels on the rooftop. Now, that job, it was pretty good for the time. I just mentioned I just had a son, so I needed the money. But before that, I was working in a music studio where I was doing some audio engineering on the side, just as a side hustle while I do my own creative stuff. And it didn't really pay a lot of money. As you might know, music artists don't spend a lot of money on their music. Newsflash. But I just definitely had to get something so I could get stable with my life, so I could support my family, so I could, grow as an individual. And after a while, being at that first job, I actually got poached as an employee to another solar company, which I worked at. It was also in the Bronx, but I worked at for another, I would say 7-8 months. And while I was working there, I decided like this office stuff is not for me. So while I was working there, I started developing my own company. And in 2016, I filed for my company, Lunar Coven LLC, which at first I wasn't sure what it was going to be. I just knew I wanted to do something creative. Ultimately, I wanted to make like a big art house where we do a bunch of different things. But I just had to get the business filed first. I launched the website, lunarcoven.com. And within, I would say 3 months of making that, I decided, I'm just going to quit and I'm going to go all out with this business stuff, with my own business. And at first I tried to do interviews, blogs and all this kind of stuff. But that quickly I was like, this is not something I really want to do. And I mentioned before I was doing all of this, I was actually doing my own creative work. I was making music. I was shooting music videos. That's what I did for a long time as a youth, just making music. Before getting into rap music and stuff like that, I was in a band. From like 16 to like 18, I was in a metal band. We played mad shows all throughout the Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, all around the area. We played mad shows. I got to play CBGBs like 3-4 times. So yeah, I was always into artistic things. I was always into making music. But when I started doing rap music, that's when I started shooting music videos. And how this ties into the business, I got really into the filmmaking world, and I decided, okay, with Lunar Coven Media, I know how to make films. I know how to record. I know how to shoot and edit, and I could use that to my advantage. So what I did was I started a media business. So I made Lunar Coven Media, which I offer video services to anybody who needs, whether it's like birthday parties, it could be weddings, it could be corporate videos, it could be personal occasions, any kind of thing. I would shoot it, and I started doing some work for free. I did a couple of things for free for very low cost just to get my portfolio up. And over time, I started building the portfolio of work, and started from 2016 to 2018 is where I built my foundation. And 2018 is when I started charging like good prices, and I was able to just do this full time. Now, granted, there was a time period in between 2016 and 2018 where Lunar Coven Media couldn't fully support me. So I did go back to solar for a little while, just for maybe like a half a year to like 8 months. But it was part-time and it was remote. This was before the pandemic. So I still had mad time to do my own videos to build up my portfolio. And that's exactly what I did. In 2018, that's when I went full-time by myself. doing straight video. I did photography as well, but I didn't offer it as like a premium service yet. And 2018 is when I just was able to fully support myself just with Lunar Coven Media alone. But then 2019 came around. We were projecting to do like really good that year as well. But the pandemic hit, everything shut down. And luckily, I did have some clients where it's not like you couldn't tell me I couldn't go to work because I was my own boss. So I did have a few clients still where we would go and still shoot during the pandemic and everything, even though everything was locked down. Still had that opportunity to make some money. But yeah, fast forward to after the pandemic, slowly but surely, when everything started opening up, businesses started opening up, people started going out again. Work came back. I was doing weddings. I was doing corporate gigs, doing personal events, parties, sweet 16s. I was doing all of that. And I started offering photography as a premium service. So things were looking good again. Then now fast forward a little bit more to 2022, 2023, 2024. The economy itself, inflation and everything, I noticed people starting to spend less money on videography. And I think that was coupled not only with the economy and inflation, but just the advent of TikTok blowing up. People were starting to do just more cell phone videos, not the fancy, super fancy 4K videos that I shoot on with this thing. But people definitely still were inquiring about photography, and I was still making some money. But I wanted to figure out another avenue to how to just supplement more income. I just wanted more income. Obviously, everybody wants more income. Then this opportunity jumped up just earlier this year. One of my friends from when I was in a band, from when I was like 16 years old, she actually had become majority leader of the city council, and she's the council member from my district in the Bronx. And she hit me up asking if I knew any photographers because they needed a part-time photographer just to stay on, just to, whenever she does like events, just pull up for like an hour or two, shoot some footage. And I was like, duh, I'm a photographer. So we linked up, talked it out, and I got onboarded pretty quick. So now, that's what I'm doing now too on the side. So I'm Lunar Coven Media, and I shoot for the city council. Now that I'm super comfortable with work and with business, I wanted to expand the business even more. That's why I developed Coven X Coven. This was an idea that I had a while back, and I decided to make it a women's streetwear brand because most of my demographic online on my social media are women. So I decided, why not make a streetwear brand for women? Mostly streetwear is always geared towards men. So I was like, this is a good opportunity for me to jump into that niche. And like I said, when I was younger, I was in a metal band. I was into a bunch of goth stuff, alternative stuff, scenester stuff. So it's right up my alley. I just made an alternative streetwear brand, alternative/goth streetwear brand for women. I got Lunar Coven Media, I shoot for City Council, and I have Coven X Coven coming up. So I just wanted to share my brand story. I just want to share my story about why I quit my corporate office job to do creative endeavors, and it's been working out pretty good so far.